Thank you so much for joining as I prepare to get the recording going and get the screen share going. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope everyone out there is being safe. I hope your families are doing well. So I created a video program for you all, just to kind of talk about the resources that are out there for the COVID 2019 um, situation that we have going on. I hope everyone is doing, what their local government and the president and the governors are saying, because I don't know where I'm calling from Georgia, so don't know where you guys are calling from, but I wanted to just say I hope you're being safe. I hope you're using precautions and everything of that nature to keep you and your family safe, and praying that this pandemic will be over before we know it. To anyone out there who has this video who's lost family members, my condolences go out to you and your family. But again, thank you so much for purchasing this video. Um, I just wanted to take an opportunity to go over some tips that I used for applying for the disaster loan assistance program that's under the SBA. I sent the link to a couple of people, and had to assist some people in filling it out. And it's just me, and I know there probably will be people pop up everywhere that will um assist people and charge an arm and a leg to get this done. But I try to come up with the most economical way to assist people in getting this information and getting it done. Filling out the application, it's not a super difficult application to fill out. But some people just may need some help along the way, especially if you're an individual, independent contractor, and you don't normally have to fill out stuff like this or anything like that. You maybe a sole proprietor that's normally not impacted by things like this, but this is again a pandemic. It's a global disaster, so we're thankful that there are programs to help us along the way. But without further ado, I just wanted to again take an opportunity to kind of talk you through some of the steps of the program, and I'm also going to log into the program and let you see each screen along the way, so you'll be able to follow along. And I advise you to look at this video before you apply, and then go out there and apply, and this will help you kind of prepare your information. But the objective or the reason that I created this video was to provide information, to help you pre-plan, and to show you the application. The keys to success is to make sure you read each page thoroughly. Because there's going to be a lot of questions, and I don't want you to misidentify something because you did not read it. So read every question thoroughly. And if for any reason it's something you don't understand, call the SBA. This 1-800 number down in the bottom right hand portion of your screen is the number to the customer service. And of course, you can imagine so many people are trying to apply. I called one time yesterday and I got straight in, but then when I tried to call back, I was like, person 100, no, 492. So it's a long wait time um, on the customer service end, but at least this video will help you um, prepare as much information as possible. So that's the link at the bottom. Um, And again, you know, you've bought this presentation, so you'll have access to look at it over and over and over again. You know, make some notes and kind of prepare yourself to do the application. You know, I can't guarantee you will get a loan, but at least apply for it. All they can say is yes or no at this point. I mean, nothing beats a miss but a try. So apply for the loan. You know, it doesn't hurt you if you get if you don't, you know, if you don't get approved for it, but pretty much it's at least the opportunity. Any questions that you have about the loan, as far as terms, rates, different things of that nature, please call the 1-800-659-2955 number. Thank you so much. Okay, so just a little humor to get us started. You know, we've been quarantined at my job from March 13th until now, so it's almost a month. So most days I get up, I keep my pajamas on, and I pretty much work from my pajamas all day. But I look forward to having some live meetings to where you guys will be able to interact and see me more. But just a little humor to get us started. Just imagine that's me on the left talking to you right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my disclaimers out there. This is not a Tabitha McClarity program. The disaster relief loan program is a SBA governmental program. It's administered through the FBA, but it's a federal government program. So I don't have any say so of who gets a loan or who doesn't. I just went through the process, and I've helped about 10 people so far fill theirs out, and I just simply do. I'm not able to help hundreds and hundreds of people fill this application out. So I figured the quickest way to guide you through it was to create this presentation and go through the application so you could see it for yourself, and kind of fill it out along the way so that you can look at it and then put your information in. Tabitha McClarity is not affiliated with the Small Business Administration in any way. I do want to do a plug for the SBA though, because it's a good resource outside of disaster time. They have a lot of free and low cost training that any business person could take part in. So I do advise you outside of this time, or maybe even while you're down, go out there and look at the different trainings they have. They pretty much teach everything pertaining to businesses, and they have a lot of different government supported programs, and teach you a lot about hub zone and economic development and different things like that. So please take advantage of the SBA.gov. Again, following these steps does not guarantee you will be approved for the COVID-19 economic disaster loan. This is what I did when I completed the application. If you have any specific questions, call 1-800-659-2955. The web address, which is one of the most important things, is listed here below. I won't read it out. But you should be able to pretty much just type it in. You do not have to put in the www. Just type it in exactly how I have it here on the sheet. Once you get there, which I'm going to go to the screen and go through the entire application myself, so you'll be able to see page for page. But to know that you are at the right place for the COVID-19 disaster relief loan application, you will see this page. And again, read. Take your time, don't rush through it just because you see, hey, loan, and you know, you thinking that it may be free money, but there's no such thing as free money. There are some terms and conditions, so make sure you go there and read that piece of it. So I'm going to stop right here, and then I'm going to go and open the web page, and we're going to go back and forth in the web page, because this is one of the questions that it asks. So I wanted to stop and give you an opportunity to talk about what gross revenue is and cost of goods sold, because this is one of the questions. And if you notice, if you hadn't had a chance to write the phone number down and the web address, I put it at the bottom of each page. So I'm going to go and share the link page so you guys will be able to see that we just came from there, and then we'll come back over to the presentation when we get to that part that pertains to this. So when you first log in, you will see, just the same thing. And as you can see, you can also do this from your phone. So the screenshot that you saw, that was from my phone. I filled my application out through my phone, but you can also go to a desktop, and this what we're doing now is through a desktop, but the pages look exactly the same. But as you see, it has like a little timeline to tell you what portion of the application that you're on. So read the top, and I give you a few seconds to glance over that. I'm not gonna pause and let you read this, because again, read the bottom portion of it, because again, you guys will be able to log in and see this information when you go to the um, site yourself. So and remember, it's no respect of person. It's not saying a particular person can or cannot apply. And I'm speaking specifically to my independent contractors, which I'll probably talk a little bit more about that when we get on into the application. But just look at these uh, entity verifications information. So look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entities, and read which one pertains to you. Now and I won't say most people, because again, I don't know the audience that end up purchasing this video, but for the people that are my clients, I have a lot of people who are sole proprietorships and independent contractors. So if you're self-employed, um, you do not have to have an EIN to complete this. You do not have to be designated as an LLC. You can be, which a LLC is a limited liability corporation. You don't have to be designated as that. You can be a single person sole proprietorship who is not incorporated. That just means that you're a DBA, which is doing business as, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but I just want to let the people who are independent contractors, and what this means is, say for instance, you did some work for a person that owns a business, and instead of giving you a W-2, they gave you a 1099, but that will put you in this category of an independent contractor. So you guys can fill that out. And again, sole proprietorships or self-employed people, they may be designated or incorporated with the LLC at the end of their name, or they just may operate as a doing business as, which means, for example, my name is Tabitha McClarity, but I could be doing business as Tabitha McClarity Coaching and Consulting. I am at LLC, but just for the example for this, you can be doing business as. So just making sure that we have this. Also, I want to talk about making sure that you have a bank account, because there is some information on here where they ask for a bank account. They do not specify if it got to be a business account. It just asks for a bank account. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get there. But for the purpose of doing this application, again, I'm going to be selecting the second entity. But you go through and read each one of these classifications and select the entity that best describes what your business is. Okay, so do that piece of it. And then you go into the second section. And again, I'm not going to read these, but as I'm talking, you guys can glance at each one of them. I've done them, but just answer these questions appropriately. So you go through and select them. And again, make sure that you read them, because you're basically saying, you basically have to check all of these before it lets you move forward, but read them and answer appropriately. Okay. Okay. Click next. So, I'm just gonna fill out the application. So when you go to the step one of the finishing process, once you've selected your entity and then went through each question and provided that the disclaimers to each one of them. So I'll just make up a name. And that's a legal name. And I thought I turned off these um pre-fill, so I'm gonna go and try to turn them off again now while we're talking. Thank you guys for being uh patient with me while I turn these off. Thank you for being patient. Okay, I'm just gonna make up a number to put here instead of putting a real one. But basically, this area, and I talked about earlier, whether you have a EIN or a your social here, if you don't have a employer identification number for your business, and which sole proprietor can have one, whether you're incorporated or not. Independent contractor can have a EIN, whether they incorporate or not. But if you do not have an EIN, where you went to the IRS website and created an EIN, and someone can do that for you. But basically, put your social security number right here. So here's where you pick your designation. And for this, because I am a LLC, that's why I would put that. But I want to click on it again, let you see the different selections you can do. You could be a C Corp, S Corp, a general partnership, limited liability partnership, limited partnership, and cooperative, a trust, other whatever his designation is. But most people fit into one of these. So make sure that you put your designation. Okay, answer these questions. And again, because they give a lot of different business types, different business entities the opportunity to apply. Um, put your designation. I'm not not nonprofit organization. And my business is not a franchise. Now, a franchise, if you don't even know what that means, that's basically like you have a corporation where several different people can buy into the purchasing of your name of the businesses. And examples of these could be McDonald's and um, Wendy's and um, places like that. I don't think Starbucks franchises. Um, so on the other spot, I paused for the in the presentation, I paused for the gross revenue. So then the reason I had stopped right there, because I knew there was a question about gross revenue. So I wanted to talk about, because the people that I've helped, most of them had a question about what was gross revenue. So I want to stop right here and talk about what gross revenue is. And basically, the gross revenue is the amount of money that you made for a certain period of the year. So we'll go back to this sheet, okay? So it's basically all the income from the sales of all products and or services within a certain time frame. So an example of this, and I get, and we have in here, we're going to talk about a shirt, basically, and talk about how you get the gross revenue of a shirt. So, for example, the gross revenue of a shirt you sold is $30. That's the total price. So if you sold 2,000 shirts within a year, then the gross revenue would be $60,000. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there and let you guys kind of think through what what your product is, and how many you sold for the time frame that the application asked for. Um, so, and the same thing with services. If you are a consultant and you know, for me, if you've written some business plans, then you would basically go back and say how many business plans you've written for the year, how many consultant hours you spent for the year, or even like in this particular class, if I just had this one class, I would multiply the $10 times how many classes that I sold. So that would be how I would get my gross revenue for the previous time frame that they're asking for. In addition, this information can be obtained from income tax files for the time frame requested in the application. There are several different business entities that people have. Most people, and in my experience, most people that I deal with is going to be reporting their income in the Schedule C of their 1040 forms. So you'll be able to go to your Schedule C, and I also have an example of that in this, and we'll get to it later because it's two pieces that we want to talk about. But you'll be able to get that from your tax form. If you're S Corp or C Corp, that information would come from your 1120 forms. If you are a partnership, that information would come from your 1065 form. Um, and if you are a fiduciary, your information would come from your 1041 form. If you are a nonprofit, some people file this form, some people don't. But if you're a nonprofit, this information would come from your 990 form. And some people fill out the 990, some people don't. But if you don't fill out an official form to file the amount of money that you make, you should have some way of tracking the amount of money that you make. Some people use point of sale softwares like uh, I can't think of the name of it right now, but some people use a point of sale software that QuickBooks, like QuickBooks, and you should be able to go into the reporting section of QuickBooks or whatever software that you use and run reports to show how much you made for a time frame, and you'll be able to put the dates in there, and that system will pull the monies in that you made. So those are different ways that you can get your gross revenue. And if for those of us who are lucky to have a CPA or a bookkeeping person that keeps up with that information for you, you can also contact that person that does that for you, and they'll be able to provide that information. But anyone that pretty much files a 1040 form, you should have a package of your entire forms and just go to the Schedule C for the 1040 and get that information. Okay, so now we're going back to the application. Okay, so for the example that I had on the screen, I think I said the company made $60,000 for the year. So that would be what you put right there. The next piece is the cost of goods sold, and we'll go back to the presentation for that as well, and explain what the cost of goods sold is, and talk about different ways of getting that information as well. So, okay, then we'll pretty much use the same examples. Cost of goods sold slash services. So, because some people sell physical items, some people sell services, and some people sell a combination of both. So, this is kind of idea of what your cost of goods slash services sold is. So, the cost of goods sold, going forward, I'll say COGS, refers to the direct cost of producing the goods and or services sold by a company. This amount includes the cost of material and labor directly used to create the good. It excludes indirect expenses such as distribution costs and sales force costs. And again, your point of sale software should separate a lot of this stuff if you're using it, and just depending on your bookkeeper and accountant, if you're anything outside of a um independent contractor, sole proprietor, or LLC, this will follow through on your Schedule C in your 1040, so you'll be able to see it. But looking at these documentations on your tax form will help you get most of the information. So an example of the cost of goods sold, and on that same shirt example that we used earlier, the components of COGS is the material for the shirt. That includes the buttons, the fabric, and the thread. And I put an example that the person spent $5,000 a year. So the equipment, which includes the sewing machine, uh, they paid 2,500 a year, and I just threw numbers out there. These are not true numbers. And then for rent and utilities, they spent 3,600 a year. And then for the labor, they paid the employee that made the shirts 9,000 a year. Okay, so the total COGS would be 20,100 or $20.10 per shirt. So that's basically the cost. That would be the example of the cost of goods sold for the shirt that they made $60,000 from. Okay, so you basically would get your expenses, the pieces that are considered the cost of goods sold, and put this information in the next section. So for the purpose of the example, then our basis number is 20,100 for the cost of goods sold. So once you figure your cost of goods sold, and again, that's by going back looking at your tax forms or looking at the information in your point of sale, then you would put the amount of money here. That's your cost of goods sold. Now, particularly for this application, again, that's why I want to stress how important it is to read. For the purpose of the business that we're using, the rest of these questions do not pertain to that business, but I want to stop and talk about the questions so that if it does pertain to you, that you understand to put the information here. Okay, so if you had rental properties, residential and commercial, and you lost rent, people weren't able to pay you because of the disaster, put that amount that you lost over the time frame right here. Okay, put the nonprofit cost of operation for 12 months prior to the date of January 31st. Put that there for this is for nonprofit. How much does it cost your nonprofit organization to operate? Put your combined annual operating expenses. And again, all of this information is going to be on your tax forms, and it's going to be in your point of sale software, or your a CPA slash bookkeeper slash tax preparer would have this if it pertained to you. Provide them information as far as the nonprofit as to what you do. Who else has given you money as far as the amount of money that you've received from other places? And the same thing, what are the sources? Who else is giving you money um, for to operate your business or getting compensation? So I'm just gonna put a address here just to fill these out, because none of these will let you go forward if you don't fill them out. So it'll be a little bit of silence while I fill these out. And you got to fill out everything that's like highlighted red. It'll let you skip over certain information like alternative business phone or fax. Now, if you have one, go ahead and put it down. But if you don't have it, then skip those sections. Um, and then go back and make sure that you put this information in. And also for business services, just making sure that you go through, because you're going to have to pinpoint what you did. If it's none of those below, then of course, put it, for the purpose of this, I'm just going to pick something. I think they did have something that pertained to consulting, business, or personal service or something like that, but I'm just going to pick something. But look under each category and find your business, and then up under it's going to have a subcategory. Okay. Now, this is important. If you had employees, if you had employees and you had to lay them off, still put their number here. If it's just you, then you don't have any employees. So for the purpose of this application, I'm just going to put that I had one employee. So that would be me and then another employee. Okay. Go to next. This is very important. Make sure you see this answer this question here at the top, because again, in anything that you answer, if you don't answer everything, it won't let you go to the next question. So it's basically asking, is your business entity owned by another business? No. So if you have a business, say for instance, if you have a radio station and it's really owned by CBS, then you would answer yes to this question. But if you own everything outright, or you're in a partnership, or you're an S corp or C corp, anything of that nature, and it's owned by a person, then and not another business, then click no on this. So if it's just a single owner, then put their name or your name here. Some people have title. Most of the time, is a single person just going to be the owner. Put your percentage of your ownership here. If you own 100% of the business, put that. Whatever percentage of the business that you own, put that. And just go through it and fill out your personal information on here. Okay, if it's more than one owner, then click right here and add the second owner's information on here. If it's just 100% you, then click next. Go to the next piece. And as you can see, we're almost done. Okay, add some additional information in step 3. And I will give you a kind of opportunity to glance over these, but make sure you answer these questions to the best of your ability, to the truth. So just answer the questions. And I think they give you enough time to kind of glance over them. And again, the key thing is read, read, read. On this section right here, it's asked if anybody assisted you with completing this application. So this is the information that it have for you. And pretty much you're going to be filling it out yourself. I just created this presentation to kind of guide you through the steps. It didn't give you any information to put in or anything of that nature. But you know, just put your information in here. And I don't want to be the person that get permission to know about your business. So no need in putting any information at that point. You self-filled it out. You just kind of looked at, I just went through this process with you, so I don't want to take any claim for um, being your representative. And then it asked this question, and this is why I talked about having uh, a bank for your information. Um, but if you haven't gone and filled it out yet, go and get a bank. They have, and I'm not promoting Chime because I don't know how it works. I just know that's one of the easier ones, and for people who are independent contractors, who are not banked, that's a good option to use. You can go out there on the web. Google is wonderful. It's one of my best resources that I go to get information from. So go out there and Google and see, put in free checking account, a free account, a free bank account, or something to that effect, and see what comes up. I think Cash App has an option for you to get a Cash App card, and it goes through a banking process. I think Walmart has a Walmart Money card or Green Dot cards or different things like that. So you have some options if you're not banked, before you go in to use it, get your bank set up. And if you would like to be considered for the $10,000 advance, up to $10,000, they may not give you the full $10,000, but they may give you some monies. Then put your bank name here, and put the information here, and then put your account number here. Now this is not my real account number. Oh, I'm sorry, put your account number first. So I'm so used to typing in the routing number, so forgive me for that. But put your account number in first, and then put the routing number in. But if y'all want to, send me something, a little something extra, you can contact me, and I'll tell you how to get me some extra money. So again, go through. I cannot stress enough the importance of reading. Read. So uh I'll kind of leave it right here for a couple seconds and let you read through this information, because you're authorizing the SBA to pull information, get information on your behalf. And it just tell you the disclaimers that they can't you know uh not let you participate based on your age, color, handicap, marital status, national origin, race, religion, or sex. So read through this, read through all the disclaimers. um and again, through my disclaimers, this is not a TABTA program. I just decided to create this presentation to give you information on going through the application, because I had assisted several people before, and the call volume was picking up, and I'm not able to meet all the call volume. So I wanted to create a presentation that's easily read to go through the whole entire application. Now I am not going to click submit or next, because this will submit um, the application, I believe. Let me see. I'll give you the summary. Okay, yeah. It gives you the summary of everything. So this gives you an opportunity to go back and look and see what you put on here. After this one, I won't click submit because it's going to send it, and I don't want it to do that. But it basically goes through everything that you put, then you click I'm not a robot. Once you do that, this is going to turn blue. You're going to click submit. Once you click submit, you're going to get a 10-digit code, and it's going to show you your email address saying you'll hear something within a week. That's the time frame that I had on there yesterday. So I don't know if that time frame changes based on the applications that they got, but make sure you either screenshot that or write that application number down, because once you put your application in, they when you call in, they do ask for that application number depending on what section that you're trying to get to. So for the most part, that concludes the information that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, if you have any questions, I want to make sure I go through my presentation that I don't miss anything that I wanted to share with you guys, just to kind of go back and reiterate, because I knew I had a couple of more slides. But just the same as the gross amount, your cost of goods sold is gonna, you can calculate it based on what I have on a previous slide, but the information is also readily available on your tax form. And I'll say those again. It'll be on S Corp or C Corp on the form 1120. For a partnership, it's going to be on the forms 1065. For a individual person that your business passed through on your 1040, it's going to be on your Schedule C. For a fiduciary, it's going to be on the Schedule 1041. For nonprofits, if you report this information to the IRS, some people do, some don't, it's going to be on the 990 form. If you don't file anything at all, but you keep up with what you sell, then that's going to be in your point of sale software. You may have even written it down in a notebook. You might keep up with it on an Excel spreadsheet, just for whatever means that you keep up with it. Look there. Also, for independent contractors, you would have received a 1099, or you would have written down the work you did yourself. For some self-employed people, and beauty salons kind of come into mind. Sometimes you may not have a point of sale, but you write down your appointments and what you did and how much you charged them. You write that down in your scheduling planner. So go back and add up all of that to get your gross revenue. Maybe if you clean houses, pretty much you keep up with how much you charge your clients on a weekly basis. Go back and add that up, and use that as your gross revenue. And if you have any expenses, cleaning supplies, or for a beauty salon, booth rental, or supply purchases, whether you buy the weed for your client, or whether you buy shampoo for your clients, those things like that, those are cost of goods. So I want to make sure that I talked about that, so you can get the information from there as well. Please watch this video over and over again. I did put an example of what the Schedule C form looks like, and the top number, this is where you would get your gross revenue. Anything that's in box 1 through 7, looking at box 7, and that's the total gross revenue for this particular job that I used as an example. Your cost of goods sold is going to be in your expense section. Okay, so for this particular example, their cost of goods sold was $10,000. And again, this is for the individual whose business passed through on their Schedule C. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I have. Please make sure, again, that you look over this presentation a few times, so that you'll have the information. So you'll have all the information that you need to fill this out completely, to be able to get your application filled out. Again, I'm trying to multitask, but I don't want to lose the thought. So just make sure that you are able to fill the application out. I put the phone number on here a few times so you guys can call if you need assistance through that, through the Small Business Administration. And this is one of two programs they have. The other program is called the Paycheck Protection Program. I have not filled out an application for that, but when I do, I will go through and do this again and send it out. But this has everything you need. If you have any questions about the application itself, the process itself, please call 1-800-659-2955. I hope this video has been informative. I hope it get you the information that you need. And for help me out, pass it along. Be safe. That's number one before anything. Be safe. Listen to the federal government, listen to your governor, listen to your local government. There's so many different stories out there. We don't know what the truth is or what um it changes daily by day, but I rather be safe than sorry. So I impress upon you to be safe, and keep your family first. And like they're saying, we're all in this thing together. So any other information that I get, I'll be more than willing to share with you guys. Have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all when we can come back outside. Thank you for watching the video. Tabitha McClarity, Coaching and Consulting, LLC, all rights reserved. Thank you.